Today I fucked up by going on a date with an ill-behaved man-child. Sorry for the length and formatting. On mobile. Too long didn't read. I ignored the warning of a friend about a guy who asked me out. I lived to regret it. This happened in 2008, shortly after I got stationed in South Korea, Republic of Korea, officially. I was a lowly private, albeit a reasonably attractive woman in my early 20s. I was out one night with some friends, when a tall, funny redhead guy, who happened to be one of my friend's soldiers, asked to take me out to dinner. Friend told me it was a bad idea. I asked why, but he wouldn't give me details. My exact words were, "What's the worst that could happen? I get a free meal and we don't click." As you may have guessed, this was not, in fact, the worst that could happen. The following evening, we were supposed to meet at the taxi stand outside post, but he was late. He calls to tell me he's at the ATM and ask if I have cash for the taxi. Not a great start, but, sure, I can spring for the taxi. He gets to the taxi stand, we ask the Korean taxi driver, in our mash of Korean and English, to take us to the nearby Air Force Base, which houses the only Chili's on the peninsula. Something to the effect of a dish, Osan Kajusai. "Oh, sir, take us to Osan, please. We're going through back roads," and I ask what he thinks of Korea so far. He starts going off on a rant about how these people don't even speak English, and I must have looked at him like he had lost his mind. As I open my mouth to speak, a little boy loses his ball and runs into the street to get it. This set read off all over again, talking about these people have no common sense and just really racist, weird and out of touch comments. When he finally takes a breath, I remind him that we're in their country, not the other way around, and that everyone's been really respectful, so I'm not sure what his problem was in the first place. He gets mad, and puts his headphones on, not saying another word to me the whole way to Osan. When we finally pull up to Osan Air Force Base, I lean forward to pay the driver, and he says, in perfect English with an American accent, "Thank you, ma'am. That will be X amount of won." And I could feel the blood rush to my face. Red does a double take at this man's English and darts out of the cab. I apologize profusely, and the driver reminds me he speaks English, tells me he spent 10 years in Chicago, and that he knows I wasn't the one being awful. I tipped him as well as I could, thanked him, and apologized again. We had to take another, shorter taxi ride once on base to the Chili's. Red remained silent, and, not surprisingly, I paid for this one, too. Red, who is about 6 feet 2, dressed in baggy, bleach white shoes, pants, t-shirt and baseball cap, decides to go to the restroom as soon as we're seated. He comes back, immediately and loudly commenting on everyone staring at him. Trying to lighten the mood, I say that it's strange how clear it is which guys are Army, and which are Air Force. He asks how I can tell, which is almost funny to me, and I use the phrase pretty boys to describe the AF guys, and say the soldiers all look a little tougher. He starts yelling, actually yelling at me, that if I like AF guys so much, I should go out with one of them. I just stared at him. Server comes, I ask for a water. There's no way I want to be drunk around this dude. He insists that the margaritas are the only reason to come to Chili's, and orders one for me. The server is a young woman who looks at me nervously, but I just nod to let her know it's fine. I ordered a buffalo chicken salad. He orders 2 appetizers, beer and a steak. I had 1 sip of the margarita, and let him finish it, on top of the 3 or 4 beers he has. He snaps at the server, sends his food back, just everything he could have done. We don't talk much. The server brings the check and he says to her, "Oh, we'll split it right down the middle," or something very clearly to the effect of, "I'm paying 50% of that number." She looks at me again, and I take the check from her. I am totally done at this point. "Oh, if we're going to split it, let's split it. These beers are yours, the steak was yours, the appetizers are yours. Technically the margarita was mine, even though you drank it, but I'll take that and my salad, and you, sir, can pay for the rest." The server is just standing there awkwardly staring as I finally raise my voice at this jerk. He opens his mouth to say something and I snap, "What? Did I miss something?" And I hand her cash, as he hands her his card. He didn't even tip, but I did. Off post, tipping is rude, but, frankly, she more than earned it. He was totally silent the entire ride back, which, Of course, I paid for. I let his supervisor / my friend who had warned me know how it went down, and apologized for not heeding the warning. Somehow, at PT the next morning, Red had showed up in the wrong uniform and was smoked quite severely, I heard, but we never spoke again. Edit. Thank you to everyone who has been kind in the comments. I didn't think my default worst date story would cause this kind of ruckus. Info: I was an army medic, stationed on Humphreys at the time. We were briefed that it was considered rude to tip servers in Korea. At least one person with more personal knowledge than my own on the matter has clarified this in the comments. I was a server before joining, and strongly support people tipping their servers well and often where it is customary / necessary for them to pay their bills. He's at an ATM, where you get cash, but asks if you have cash for the taxi. I know that we often give people the benefit of the doubt, but right there was a pretty clear signal that the night wasn't going to go well. You're absolutely right, and that's exactly why I remember that part so vividly. Thought maybe I just misunderstood, but I sure didn't. Dude was bitching about people not speaking English in a foreign country. WTF. I was stationed at Osan and it was people like him that made me want to constantly apologize for all Americans. My friend went to Mexico with a bunch of guys from his work. One of them bitched the whole time that there were too many Mexicans here. Sometimes I can't even begin to fathom how people can act like this. I'm amazed at the level of patience you showed throughout the night. It's great that you stood your ground against him. Thank you. I didn't have much practice at standing up for myself back then, but I'm very glad I found the ability. I think I would have let it go if he had at least treated the server and taxi driver kindly, but his behavior was just really uncalled for. This kept getting worse with every paragraph. Glad you decided to stop it. The biggest fuck-ups are ignoring multiple red flags. You should have stayed in the first cab. That's definitely the farthest I should have let that go, but I seem to prefer learning things the hard way. Today I fucked up by accidentally quitting smoking. I guess this is more of a positive fuck-up, but still a fuck-up. Anyway, I've been smoking, just cigarettes, regularly for a bit over 4 years now. I really like smoking, it relaxes me, clears my head, and I love the taste of different tobaccos. Well, loved. I don't smoke a lot unless I'm out with friends, which as you can guess it's something that's just not happening during this pandemic. As a result, I've spent the last month or so smoking just a couple of cigarettes a day, which really enhanced my sense of smell. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I've had a terrible sore throat, to the point of not even being able to talk. Smoking was out of the question, as it was simply too painful. My cravings were easy to manage, as I already didn't smoke a lot. Fast forward 10 days, I'm feeling alright again and I finally grab a cigarette. I light it up, inhale. And it tastes like absolute shit. It feels like I've licked clean my ashtray, nothing at all as what I'm used to. The smoke itself that's coming from the cigarette has a barely tolerable smell. I just can't stand it. So here I am now, almost a week later. I'd really like to smoke, I loved it so much, but it's just so disgusting I can't bring myself to do it. I've tried, but it's just horrible and the taste just seemed to get worse. I had no plans to stop smoking anytime soon. This was 100% not intended and I'm actually pretty annoyed by it. I guess it's good for my health and everything, but I'm probably one of the only idiots in this world that accidentally quit smoking. This whole thing sounds so stupid. Edit. Holy hell, somehow this reached r/all. I'm getting a lot of comments and while I might not be able to reply to all of you, please know that I'm reading them all. With so many people sharing their positive experiences about quitting and showing support, I'm actually quite happy this happened to me now. I might be pissed off today but I'll probably be happy about it in the long run. Thank you. Edit 2. I've literally just received the results of my COVID test. I'm negative. I saw a lot of you guys were worried since altered taste and sore throat can be COVID symptoms, so I thought I'd update on my test results here. No COVID for me, the cigarettes taste bad for real. TL, doctor, had a really bad case of sore throat that forced me to give up cigarettes for 10 days. Now they taste like absolute shit and I'm actually pretty pissed off because I had no intentions of actually quitting. Worked at a bar part-time and picked up a full smoking habit. I stopped working at the bar, then the world got shut down. I can't remember the last time I smoked a cigarette and I love it. As someone who has not had a cigarette for 10 days and am trying so hard to give up, I wish I was finding it as easy as this. As someone who is trying to quit smoking, this really pisses me off. This is such a win, you're awesome. Smoked cigarettes for over 20 years and battled to quit. I had a tumor the size of a golf ball cut out of my jaw and still didn't quit. Wounds hadn't even healed before I lit up again. Until I started thinking about it as escaping rather than quitting. Credit to Alan Carr, easy way to stop smoking, never looked back. Enjoy your full lung capacity and functional taste receptors. Good luck with the COVID results and look after yourself. Thank you. I stopped for a full year once, but I did it for the wrong reasons, so I eventually started again. But I remember so clearly the higher lung capacity, improved sense of smell and taste, and also being able to sing whenever I wanted. I'm excited to get all those things back. And congrats to you two for quitting after such a long time. I can't even imagine how hard it must have been. Look out for signs of hepatitis A. It's caused by a virus in food and water. One of the first symptoms is an aversion to smoking. Still. Today I fucked up by lovingly laying out some clothes for my GF to wear the next morning. Happened 2 weeks ago. GF said she'd come stay at mine, but had work early the next day and didn't have clean clothes. Obviously I was super happy and not wanting her to head home before coming over. Losing valuable time with the woman I love, I reassured her that she had clothes here that she'd left previously. So I went to my drawers and found her a set of clothes, and laid them out on the chair in my room. She arrived, we had a lovely evening, dinner, sex, movie, cuddles, sleep. The next morning she's up at 6:30 and I go downstairs to make her a coffee. Bring it back upstairs and she's standing in my room holding the sexy black panties that were part of the ensemble I laid out for her. These aren't my pants. WH. What? These aren't my pants. I don't really need to go on. Needless to say, I died inside and visibly outside too. She left for work shaken and upset. They really weren't her pants. I've never cheated on her, so I know they are either from a previous partner, we've been together 1 year, or there's been a laundrette mishap or something. But I totally understand how she felt. 2 weeks have passed and we've worked through it. We have a few theories, but we'll never truly know where they came from. Too long didn't read. Gave my GF some sexy black pants to wear, thinking they were hers. They were not. Edit, I'm English. When we say pants, we mean underpants, not trousers. I'm sorry this has proved a difficult concept for so many people. I hope adding clarity to this edit will bring peace to those with troubled minds. Good night. One time I was folding laundry when I found a pair of underwear with #NoAngel on the back. I said, whose underwear are these? And my husband was like, I swear I don't know. Poor guy thought I was accusing him of cheating. I wasn't accusing him, I was legitimately confused. I looked and they were my size and brand. Turns out when I bought them they were folded up, so I thought they were plain black. I had no idea they had that printed on the back. I'm an idiot. Lol.